Coherence. You probably have never heard of it, but it's going to blow your mind the value of what it is. Hi, if we have not met before, my name is John Ruman. I'm an international business coach, consultant, and corporate trainer. And what I do is I actually help teams to attract and retain amazing talent, as well as make sure the amazing talent and other key players are not doing wasteful activities, but really focusing on what matters. In other words, I help companies have surgeons do surgery instead of paperwork. So one of the things that I do all the time is I am constantly starving for new and greater things to help me grow so I can help those whom I coach, those who I consult, those who I get the opportunity to work with to grow in bigger and better ways. The most powerful thing I have yet to learn is something called coherence. I'll tell you what it is, why it's so powerful. I'll give you a little bit of the science behind it. So it's a technical term, and it came out of understanding that, well, we have two kinds of stress response. We have two sides of our nervous system. We have the stress side, and then we have the kind of chill out side. I'm not going to give you science too deep, but basically we have two sides. So when your body's kind of chilling out and all is well and you're at the beach and you're on vacation, your body's in a different stress state than traffic. I'm late, bills to pay, some other horrifically stressful situation. So you have two sides of your nervous system. And when they are actually in the rest and digest state, there's a connection that happens. And I'll actually show you. Hopefully it comes out. See how the one here, sorry, the other side, has these beautiful waves, and the other one here has these kind of jaggedy patterns. This is a measure of what's called heart rate variability. And heart rate variability, and you see those two slides, when your heart rate is jaggedy, which it normally is for most people, their body is out of coherence. Their body is stressed, and all this does is measure small differentiations between the top and the bottom of a heart rate. As you inhale, you have a slight bit of tension, and it slightly impacts, it goes up with your heart rate, and then when you exhale, you have a slight chill out, and you feel that, I'm sure. When you exhale, things kind of chill out. When you tense in, you know something tense, you're like, that's a tense motion, that it creates a stress response. So if you look at all these peaks and valleys, and the pretty graph is probably the better one by my pinky is probably better to look at. Notice those little peaks and valleys. Each one of those is a breath cycle. So what happens is the pretty graph, when you have this nice pretty sine wave, your body goes in the rest and digest state. And what happens is, and I'll give you the actual definition. This is from Heart Math. The people actually who study and really go deep here. But coherence is the cooperative alignment between the heart, mind, and emotions, and can be measured by looking at changes in our heart rhythms, heart rate variability analysis. And that was the graph I just showed you a moment ago. But what's important is understanding that if and when your body is in a coherent state, your digestion works well, you sleep like a baby, you digest well, you sleep well, your blood pressure is very normal, you actually have a great sense of calm and well-being, and the trick is to get yourself into the coherent state effectively. So when I talk about coherence, I actually talk about you getting into that state so you can begin to feel the benefits of it. And for brevity, I'm not going to show you that here today, but the experience of it is maybe a half hour, 50 minutes after you go to the beach, and you notice there's a point where you forget about work or whatever stresses you have, and you seem just to chill out, and things just kind of calm down for you at that moment, and you feel very good. Your body's in what's called a coherent state, and if they were to measure, like they measure here, it would be the nice pretty chart. So understand that you can put yourself there, but it's challenging when life is happening and you can't go to the beach. So unless you live a minute from the beach, and good for you if you do, even if you do, it's still good to have the opportunity to understand that you can cultivate this without doing those kinds of things. So one of the upcoming courses I'm teaching is a lunch and learn on the 27th. It's a 1-hour power hour. They're going to get lunch, which is a sandwich or salad, juice and water. And what it'll do is in there, I'll teach you 2 techniques. One is the coherence technique I'm mentioning now, which you can do. It's really, really simple. I'll give you the written instructions so you can teach anyone. It's so amazing. But and then the other one is another technique which will put your body kind of from a beta state to alpha state, which is kind of meditative state. So they're kind of different states, but both are really beneficial. But when you're in the coherent state, I'll give you one of my favorite stories and then I'll let you go. A client of mine had done this exercise and he came back to me. I'm in Trinidad and the neighboring island is Tobago, and Tobago is much more the Caribbean. If you're watching this and you're not from the Caribbean, it's a twin island. Tobago is the Caribbean. Trinidad, well, it's a Caribbean island in that it's perfect weather, and we have some of the fauna. It's more South American fauna, and we have a hopping economy comparatively, so it's not so chill. So it's good because economics are stronger, but it's not nearly as relaxing. Anyway, Pigeon Point is a location in Tobago, the beautiful Caribbean of the Twin Islands, and he was saying that it had felt like he went to Pigeon Point for a 2-week all expenses paid vacation, all the money in the pocket he ever wanted and needed, and he felt that this is day 1 of the vacation. So if you want to feel that way and you want to feel that sense of ease, well-being, etc., and if you live in a highly stressed life, I would encourage you to take this course so you can experience what coherence feels like, because it really is profound when you can actually make it something that you can literally cue in on a need-be basis. And what's cool about it is, truthfully, it can be trained. In other words, you can actually train your body to be in a coherent state, the chill-out state, with practice. And you can actually literally live life even when stresses are happening and not have it impact you. How cool would that be? So thank you. Have an awesome rest of your night, and I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you at that workshop.